When was the last time you stayed in a hotel? To me, honestly, it seems like a lifetime ago. To keep the pandemic at bay, the German government strongly discourages tourism, and hotels are actually not allowed to host leisure travelers at this point in time. That's of course a huge blow to the industry, but a bunch of establishments around Berlin have decided to make the most of a difficult situation. And today, I want to pay them a visit.
First stop, Amstel House, a popular hostel in the district of Moabit.
Billiards, sometimes.
You faced this crisis in a pretty innovative way. Talk me through the model that you implemented when Corona hit.
We turned into the idea that we are going to offer our rooms, which are still empty, for students. Students coming to Berlin would like to start their studies for the winter. So we developed this program to student rooms stay, and after a while more and more people, even working professionals, were asking if they could rent rooms as well for a certain time to get orientated in the city, to have some time to look for an own flat. And so we said, yeah, why not? And then we increased the number of people living here on that basis up to almost up to our maximum, which would be 50 rooms. This is the communal kitchen. Preparing inside the kitchen while preparing the food, there's a maximum of 5 persons here, and you have to wear the mask all the time. Yeah, and this is one of my tasks, to take care of that.
As the daddy of the house.
Yes.
Natalia, you live in a hostel. Did you ever think that would happen?
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, it was weird at first, but now it feels really like home. And all the people that's living here is also staying for a while. So we know each other, it's pretty friendly. We sometimes eat together. So, I mean, it's weird. I never thought I would do it, but here I am.
What's special or odd maybe about living in a hostel that is also quite deserted? There's 50 people or 50 people max. There's room for 300 plus people.
The weirdest thing is that you live alone, I mean in your room, but at the same time you don't. You live with other people that you see all the time. But although it's weird, I really like it. Like, I can have my privacy.
But not only students have found a temporary home here.
Yep.
Hi. How would you describe living here? Because it's a rather unusual setting, isn't it?
Yeah, but right now I'm looking for a job, so I want something in budget. So I look for the hostels with within budget and clean stuff. Washroom, kitchen, everything was nice. So I feel comfortable to stay in this hostel.
This is, of course, only an emergency measure, kind of the emergency brake you're pulling. Tell me, how devastating has the financial impact of this crisis been on your business?
My expectation is to survive until September 2021, and I know this is a quite comfortable aim in comparison to other hostel owners, for example. But one have to say that taking out the loan will throw me back 7 years on a financial basis. So I have to work another 7 years to get at the same point as we have been in end of 2019.
Other hotels in Berlin have suspended operations entirely. To them, staying open just to host a handful of business travelers just doesn't pay off.
One of them is the Palace Hotel. But don't you think they're just sitting around waiting for better times?
Sie nutzen die Zeit des Shutdowns, hier mal ordentlich Klarschiff zu machen. Was wird denn umgebaut hier im Palace?
Wir haben uns dazu entschlossen, dass wir diese Zeit versuchen, so sinnvoll zu nutzen, wie es eigentlich nur möglich ist. Und deshalb haben wir ein ganz großes Projekt dieses Jahr, und also besser gesagt im Jahr 2020 umgesetzt, welches die Generalsanierung unseres Seitenflügels ist, mit über 100 Zimmern. Und Hier bestand die Aufgabe, weil ja das Gebäude im Ensembleschutz, Denkmalschutz mit dem Breitscheidplatz und dem ganzen Gebiet der City West ist, dass wir eben die Außenfassade nicht anfassen dürfen und können verändern. Aber dafür haben wir innen alles absolut komplett auf den neuesten Stand der Technik und der Zeit gebracht.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I call an excellent bathroom. I might have to stay here forever.
Das zweitgrößte Projekt, was wir haben, ist der Umbau unserer beiden Hauptküchen, die wir im Haus haben. Hier ist auch ganz, ganz tief in die Substanz eingegriffen worden, denn dies muss man mal nutzen, wenn Gäste nicht in einem Hotel sind.
Viele Leute, die gerade jetzt im Hospitality-Sektor arbeiten, haben sich umorientiert, weil es einfach die Planbarkeit momentan nicht da ist. Was für Probleme könnte das für Sie hervorrufen, wenn Sie dann wieder aufmachen können?
Die Fachkräfte gehen aus der Branche raus, verlassen die Branche und das wird mit dem Fachkräftemangel, wenn der Tourismus und die Geschäftsreisen und Tagungen alles wieder richtig startet, wird das der Hotellerie sehr, sehr wehtun, gutes Fachpersonal überhaupt wieder zu finden.
Anything but a standstill. Fingers crossed their efforts will pay off. I'll stick around the area for a little while. Because another hotel in the area has opened its doors to people who have to work remotely.
Why did you decide to open your doors to people who want or who need to work remotely?
That is for us a new opportunity to welcome guests, a nice add-on at the moment to have some guests here and to get some revenue.
How successful has this new business model, so to say, been for you, and what's the feedback you've gotten so far?
We get some regular guests. They come 1 day or 2 days a week, or someone who book the offers at a hotel for 1 week, for example.
I'm off to meet one of the regulars. I wonder why he's choosing to work from here.
Hi, are you Mark?
I am indeed.
I'm Nicole, nice to meet you. Can I come in?
Nice to meet you, please.
I'm already inside. Your work?
That's right.
You're not working from home, you're working from hotel. How is that and why is that?
So it works out very well for me because, first of all, physically, it's only a 10-15 minute ride through the Tiergarten for me from where I live. And yes, the hotel's a bit quieter than usual, but actually that's why I'm here, because at home at the moment, with my wife being a teacher, doing homeschooling, doing her online teaching, I have to be really quiet there. Secondly, my daughter is doing also her online schooling at home. So first of all, there's demands on the internet, and just secondly, there's just no space for me there to then be the third person trying to work away. So that's why I come here, and so I find the offer that they have here more than fair.
For many hotels, business travelers are, well, a huge part of business. Retreats, workshops, and conferences usually bring in a lot of guests. Unless, of course, a pandemic hits. The solution are hybrid events.
But what exactly are those? Here at the Sheraton Grand Hotel Esplanade, I'll find out.
The word hybrid means either joining the meeting or the conference virtually by streaming or digitally, or being face-to-face in the room, basically, as an attendant.
What kind of events are suitable to be carried out in this hybrid fashion?
Pretty much everything, to tell you the truth. I mean, here in the hotel, we've got 2 studios. We're currently in Studio 2, as we call it. This is our larger studio with quite a few square meters. This will probably be more ideally located for a larger hybrid events. It depends on the local rules and regulations, how many people are allowed into the room physically. At the moment in Berlin, we only allow 20 people, so you always have to subtract 1 or 2 people for the cameraman or the guest speakers, whoever's speaking on the stage or whatever you want to present. But this is definitely, as I said, you're reaching many people. There's no limit, because through the streaming, you can have 210,000 attendees worldwide, basically.
The hotel has even set up a full-blown TV studio.
Here we will be talking more about a virtual digital meeting where you can communicate with a few people, a few hundred, a few thousands, etc. Small and exclusive per se, at least in this setting.
This is by far the weirdest pool I've ever seen.
We're standing in our swimming pool, thankfully with no water, but this is our interpreter translation hub. We've got 12 booths here in the swimming pool, and this is really unique for the hotel with your hybrid or your virtual event. Currently with the setting with the 12 booths, we can do up to 8 languages.
Do you think this will remain even after COVID is gone?
Definitely. It is a sign of the future. It's going to be sustainable. The question is, how many attendees can I reach? And this will definitely extend into, after COVID, into the next few years. I'm convinced.
But really, if you're talking about hotels in Berlin, the first place that comes to mind is the legendary Adlon. I wonder how they're dealing with the shutdown.
Dankeschön.
This is where Berlin's most high-profile guests usually check in.
In the midst of this huge crisis, you came up with a project, so to say, to thank the healthcare workers, the heroes of the pandemic. Tell me more about that.
We came up with this 1,000 nights for 1 year to come and enjoy a night at the Adlon, also enjoy the breakfast, and at that point think about nothing else than rather enjoy.
Have 1,000 healthcare workers already stayed here?
Not yet, because of the time when it was said, tourists are not allowed to stay over. But it's ongoing. The very few days actually where 500, 600 were booked immediately, and then it went up actually 7, 8, 9 and up to 1,000. And now we will see and hope to welcome them sooner than later.
Berlin Fashion Week is always a huge event for the entire city, for the hotels in the city. This year it went virtual, like so many other things, but you didn't want to miss out on the action, did you?
Not at all. It was really fantastic that this fashion show during actually the normal Berlin Fashion Week happened in a virtual manner. More than 5 years actually, we work very trustful with a partnership with Anja Gockel and her team together. And therefore we thought, let's become creative actually and go this way.
Anja Gockel is a German fair fashion designer.
The show has a theme which is really important to me. It's called Embrace Land. That means to me, we can't hug each other, therefore we need to take awareness for each other. We take each other in our hearts, even though we can't embrace each other. We are really careful about everything. Every person you see around here, every model, every dancer, everyone literally is tested each day.
But I do think it's important to remember that all of this inventiveness is really just part of the sector's struggle to stay alive during the crisis. So let's all work together to defeat the virus. Wear a mask, wash your hands, and stay at home so that we can all stay elsewhere soon.